Hi guys, it's Kate from Open Door Counsel and Life Coaching. Today is Truthful Tuesday, and we're going to be reading a little story and learning a little something about Rahab. Do you guys know Rahab? Hold on to your hats. So, if you're going to read the Bible, you have to be ready for a God you don't expect. The one you'll find in its pages is almost certainly not who you think he is. Have you heard anything about God? What have you heard? Give this a listen. The God of the Bible may violate your traditions and your theology. You've got one, trust me. He doesn't always reward the good and punish the bad. The God of the Bible is most interested in the concept of faith. Faith being our belief in him and our willingness to risk something because of that belief. He's not so much interested in correct behavior as he is faith. If you read the Bible, you will meet a God who rewards faith even when it comes in a very messy package. Case in point, meet Rahab. Rahab was a prostitute. You heard me right. She was a prostitute in the city of Jericho over 1,000 years before Jesus was born. And somehow this Gentile, non-Jew, this Gentile sex worker ended up in the genealogy of Jesus himself, recorded in Matthew 1:5. Did you hear that, friends? You heard me. Salmon, the father of Boaz, whose mother was Rahab, that's from Matthew 1:5. A woman being mentioned in genealogy, number one, is never heard of. And a prostitute, never heard of. Except it happened because the God of the Bible loved her. Rahab's full story is in the Old Testament, and it's a part of Joshua in chapter 2. It's worth the read if you want to give it a read in Joshua chapter 2. Rahab is the name you're looking for. The moral of Rahab's story is that God's pleasure or displeasure with us isn't based on our good and bad behavior. It's based upon whether we exercise faith in him. I'm going to say that again, because if you heard anything, watched a show that insinuated things, grew up in a church that said you have to be a good boy or a good girl in order for God to be pleased with you, listen to this. The moral of Rahab's story is that God's pleasure or displeasure with us isn't based on good or bad behavior. It's based upon whether we exercise our faith in him. Acts of faith are what please God and nothing else. So Joshua 2 reports that a couple of Israelite men, Israel is God's chosen people, showed up to scope out a city in Jericho, which God told them to overtake in the upcoming battle. They go to a prostitute's house near the entrance of the city and meet Rahab. She helps the men who come to her door, lying about their whereabouts to the king, hiding and protecting them and sending them off in safety. And God honored this whole ordeal by saving her and her family in the battle. Now, if you know anything about Old Testament stuff, it's like, go smite the whole town, like don't ever leave their animals alive. But God honored her and her family and saved her and her family in the battle, and she married into the nation of Israel, and which put her in the lineage of Jesus himself, which, by the way, is God in the flesh. Doesn't God remember that he hates lies? She lied. And he hates prostitution. Rahab is actually celebrated in the New Testament by the authors of the books, Hebrews and James. She apparently pleased God with these lies. Maybe because they were in line with his will. In the same way, this is from James. In the same way, was not even Rahab, the prostitute, considered righteous for what she did when she gave lodging to the spies and sent them off in a different direction. As the body without the spirit is dead, so faith without deeds is dead. And this is from Hebrews. By faith, the prostitute Rahab, because she welcomed the spies, was not killed with those who were disobedient. So, why did God love her? Why did God save her and honor her when she did things against his own character? Yes, prostitution and lying oppose God's holiness, right? Sometimes it's stories like this that tempt people to accuse God of being inconsistent and contradictory. But the Bible is clear and consistent about the character of God. We just struggle when that character offends us or violates who we think God should be. The God of the Bible is not the God who always rewards morality and always punishes evil. The God of the Bible is moved to love and reward when he sees real faith. Rahab's story displays the few critical ingredients of real faith. Rahab recognized and believed that the real God was the God of Israel. She said, "For the Lord your God is God in heaven, above the earth and below." She didn't know him very well, but she knew that she truly believed. That was step one. Rahab risked her city and her life on this God. With her lies and help, she threw in with him. This means that her lies, "I didn't know who they were and I don't know which way they went," she said, were actually her acts of faith in God, the God who she believed in. Rahab seized the opportunity to act. It wasn't enough to just believe. She had to act on her belief when those men showed up on her doorstep. She was bold and shrewd and asked for the salvation that she wanted in return. But this is from Joshua. But Joshua spared Rahab the prostitute with her family and all who belonged to her because she hid Joshua and sent spies to Jericho. And she hid Joshua and had the spies sent away in a different direction. And she lives among the Israelites this day. So her descendants too. Think about that. Rahab lied and God loved her. Rahab lied and God loved her. That's because it was a true act of faith. She both believed and acted on who she thought he was. The God of Israel doesn't deal with us in high expectations of proper external behavior. Whew, right? Are you perfect in your behavior? I'm not. He doesn't deal with us only according to that. And he's interested more in the motives of our heart. It's more in the motives of our heart. So as we read the Bible, be open to who the pages actually reveal God to be. And I challenge you to start right now. Seek God for who he truly is. Don't just believe what you heard. Seek God for who he truly is, because he wants to reveal himself to you and he wants a relationship with you. I'm Kate from Open Door Counsel and Life Coaching, and that's your Truthful Tuesday.